Welcome to Read with Muffin. Let's read about non-chlorophyll based photosynthesis. Okay, for photosynthesis you will not be needing chlorophyll molecules. So let's read how that is. Now talking about oxygenic and non-oxygenic photosynthesis, this oxygenic and non-oxygenic photosynthesis are chlorophyll based. Okay, they are based on chlorophyll. Now this oxygenic and non-oxygenic photosynthetic organisms have pigments that are chlorophyll or bacteriochlorophyll, which absorbs light. Okay, and this pigment, when absorb light, initiates the conversion of the light energy into chemical energy. Okay, these pigments convert, this chlorophyll or bacteriochlorophyll converts the light energy into chemical energy. They initiate the conversion. Now some archaea don't use chlorophyll to absorb light. They don't use chlorophyll. Instead they use bacteriorhodopsin. Okay, some archaea don't have chlorophyll. They use bacteriorhodopsin, which is a membrane bound purple pigment. Okay, now example of these archaeon which don't use chlorophyll and use membrane bound purple pigment to convert the light energy into chemical energy is a halophile, which is known as Halobacterium salinarum. So this don't use chlorophyll. This uses bacteriorhodopsin to convert the light energy into chemical energy. Okay, bacteriorhodopsin absorbs lights and initiate the conversion of light energy into chemical energy into some archaea. Okay, this is your non-chlorophyll based photosynthesis. You are not using chlorophyll, you are using bacteriorhodopsin. So bacteriorhodopsin. Bacteriorhodopsin is similar to pigment rhodopsin, which is found in mammalian eye. Okay, in your eye there is a pigment rhodopsin. To that pigment this bacteriorhodopsin is similar. Now what is the function of this bacteriorhodopsin? Okay, its function is to drive a light driven proton pump. Okay, bacteriorhodopsin absorb light and uses that energy is used to pump protons across the membrane, and an electrochemical gradient is generated which is used for ATP synthesis. Okay, that is how some archaea survive, which use this bacteriorhodopsin instead of chlorophyll. Now this bacteriorhodopsin is made up of two components. The first component is a retinal and the second component is multipass transmembrane protein. Okay, these two components are there in your bacteriorhodopsin. Now let's look about retinal. Retinal is a chromophore. Okay, and it is a carotenoid derivative. Okay, so one of the component that is of bacteriorhodopsin, that is retinal, is a chromophore and it is a carotenoid derivative. Now let's talk about retinal, how it functions. Now this retinal remains covalently attached with the lysine residue of a protein. Okay, now when a retinal absorbs light, the double bond between the carbon 14 and carbon 13 changes it from the trans configuration to cis configuration. Okay, there in the retinal there is double bond between carbon 14 and carbon 13. This double bond changes from trans configuration to cis configuration when retinal absorbs the light, and this causes the shift base to lose a proton. Okay, shift base loses a proton because there is conversion between the trans configuration to the cis configuration. Now because of this, proton moves across the plasma membrane into the periplasmic space. Okay, in the periplasmic space of that bacteria there is accumulation of protons because all of this. And this light driven proton pumping, there is a formation of the pH gradient. Okay, because of this light driven proton pumping, there is generation of this pH gradient, which leads to ATP synthesis by chemostatic mechanism. Okay, so bacteria uses this pH gradient for ATP synthesis. So this is how the ATP synthesis is done in the non-chlorophyll based photosynthesis. Okay, so there is double bond between carbon 14 and carbon 13. When retinal absorb light, this double bond changes from trans configuration to cis configuration, and because of this there is a shift base which loses a proton, and because of this the proton moves across the plasma membrane into the periplasmic space, and in the periplasmic space there is accumulation of protons, and because of this light driven proton pumping, the pH gradient, there is generation of this pH gradient, and bacteria uses this pH gradient for ATP synthesis by doing chemostatic mechanism. So thank you for reading with Muffin. That's all for this video.